Great, thanks everybody. I just want to clarify first off that I am not related to Kash Patel. Thanks Mom, thanks Dad. But I do reserve the right to pretend that I'm related to him in case I have a run-in with ICE. So, let's keep that in my pocket. Did you guys see the SNL impression of him with Aziz Ansari? It was really good, right? Well, Republicans were all complaining because, they were sticking up for Kash. I think it's about time Republicans started sticking up for brown guys. That's a new one, thank you. But people in Minnesota always want to know where I'm from. So I tell them I'm from the land of one lake, Cleveland, Ohio. On the beautiful shores of Lake Erie. And then they say, well, where are you really from? And I know what they're getting at. So I say, well, I'm really from a suburb of Cleveland. They don't like that answer. So yeah, I did grow up in Cleveland. That makes me an original Cleveland Indian. And I have a true story. When I was about 5 years old, I went to a Cleveland Indians professional baseball game. And I was thoroughly confused as to why none of the players were Indian. They were everything but. That was traumatic. So they changed the name to the Guardians, which is good. I just wish they had done it earlier, so that little boys in Northeast Ohio could not have to live through that experience. But I survived, so it's good. But no, what's weird when you're Indian is that you have to fill out forms, right, that ask for your race, and have to check the box for Asian or Pacific Islander. I think Indian people should get our own checkbox because we're different than East Asians like Chinese and Japanese people. Because we win spelling bees and we suck at the Olympics. That's true. I do fulfill the stereotype though, because I was a very good speller. So I'll tell you my spelling bee story. In 6th grade, I crashed out on the word technique because my dad had a Technique stereo and spelled it ICS instead of IQUES. That was horrible. But in 7th grade, I came back stronger. I made it to the regionals, but I didn't represent my community very well because I didn't even finish in the top 40. But then my mom got on my case about studying more instead of playing video games. And I came back again in 8th grade. And there I was on a stage with about 40 other kids in front of 150 people at a community college auditorium. They gave us a big sign with our name on it, and then a lucky rabbit's foot. I wasn't vegetarian at the time, but it still felt weird that wearing a dead animal would help me spell better. But I just kept going up on stage and spelling words like I was a human dictionary. Until eventually I got the word kerseymere, which is a fabric like cashmere. Does anyone want to spell it? Try it? No, I guess not. Yeah. Maybe later. So I spelled it confidently, Curseymere. Then I heard the bell, and I walked back to my seat dejected because that meant I was wrong. And then the other girl from the snooty suburb called Bay Village, she got up there and spelled Kerseymere properly, Kerseymere. And then she spelled passflower, which is easy, like everybody knows how to spell passflower, right? Yeah. So she won the spelling bee. She had to go to the nationals and study more. And she won a set of encyclopedias. You guys know what those are? Those are books for the uninformed about everything. And now they're sold at garage sales everywhere. But I won a TV, a color TV that rotted my brain all through college, and I didn't have to study anymore, so that was good. But my middle school, they honored me, so they had a little assembly. They gave me a little plaque that said, Atul Patel, North Olmsted Middle School, outstanding representation, 1985. They misspelled representation. That's absolutely true. I have the evidence. And the craziest thing is, this is 1985, I'm old. This was the first year that Indian kids started winning all the spelling bees. And it could have been me if I had just studied harder instead of playing video games on my Commodore 64. Yeah, another Indian kid won again this time. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know why. Anyway, so I was raised Hindu, and I have this problem. Jesus loves me, but I don't love Jesus. I'm not sure how to tell him. Like, I can't pray, right? But I do like Jesus. I think he's a pretty cool guy. and we bonded with the fact that we share the same complexion. Speaking of former Jews, I think Hindus, we are considered the Jews of the East because it's all about food, family, unsolicited advice, and guilt for not becoming a doctor or a lawyer. So I survived that. But the one big difference that Hindus have compared to Jews is that us boys get to keep our foreskins, which is kind of a bonus. Speaking of other ways to protect your penis, I think the saddest thing a guy can own is a box of unused condoms. And maybe used condoms would be a little more disgusting and disturbing. But the saddest thing is a box of expired condoms. So I'll be selling some almost expired condoms after the show. Speaking of other uses for penises, it's just a roll with that. When guys go to the bathroom, right, at the urinal, and there's another guy at the urinal and you're going to stand next to him, and he's presumably peeing, right, because if he's just standing there, that's kind of weird, then it would just leave. But if he's standing there peeing, it's like the only appropriate thing to say to him is nice shoes. You definitely don't want to say, what religion are you again? That's a circumcision callback. How much time I got? But I'm getting older. Yeah, speaking of how much time I got, I'm getting older because I'm still alive. And I turned 55 in August, which is crazy. Thank you. I've had a good hair life. I didn't used to like my hair because it's so flat, but I'm just happy I have hair now. So it's good. But like, I'm tired of having birthdays. Like, I don't even celebrate them anymore. Because I've had so many. But it's not like I don't want more birthdays in the foreseeable future, right? I still want them. What I'm trying to say is I'm not suicidal. I do like getting older. And the other thing I've realized is as I get older, sometimes I get sleepy when I drive, right? So I figured out a way not to fall asleep when I drive. I text. I know I shouldn't, but everybody does it, and I try to be careful about it. But I don't think it's the texting and driving that's going to kill me. I think it's the fixing of the grammar, spelling, and punctuation that will help. Oh, I don't even know where MJ is. I'm just going to keep going. Sweet. So let's talk about my mom. She's really cool. We call her Micro Mom because she's 4'9", literally, and she can cook anything in the microwave. Like rice, baked potatoes, scrambled eggs. And I can too, because I think it's hereditary. But we get into food fights all the time, because she's always trying to, we don't throw food at each other, but she's always trying to feed me and give me more food to take back, like from my extra suitcase when I fly to Cleveland. And I keep telling her, Mom, it's my stomach, my choice, but she doesn't listen. But because she's so obsessed with feeding people, she has a lot of food containers, right? But she only has lids for about 30% of them. So she prays for the safe return of the other 70% of the lids. It's in Sanskrit, but I can tell. All right, thanks everybody. My name is Atul Patel.
Give it up for Atul Patel, everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome back. And now you know this show happens every first and third Wednesday. So you can be here all the time. Especially first and third Wednesdays. Yeah. Hi, bye. Yeah, you guys are being here. You're wonderful. And now the real comedy starts. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are good. But I mean, to be fair, honestly, we only have a few comics left and they're all fucking murderers. You guys like murder?